going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the City of Meridian Solid Waste Advisory Commission regular meeting for February 26th, 2025. It is now 3 minutes after 4, and we'll start off with roll call. Please indicate if you are present or connected online. Scott Walters. Here. Mark Nelson.
Present.
Andy Arriaga. Steve Corey here. Bethany Guijardo.
Present.
Sanjay Dasam. Divya Dinesh. And Annie Chuhajian. And I am indicated that Amy is online, so we do have quorum and we can go ahead and start the meeting. First item on the agenda is an action item, and it's adoption of the agenda. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at the agenda. Are there any comments or additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt the agenda as written.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as written. Are there further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote, all those in favor of approving the agenda as written signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. With that, we'll move on to the next action item, which is approval of the minutes from the January 22nd meeting. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at them. Are there any comments or adjustments to the draft minutes?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt the minutes for January as written.
Second. Been moved and seconded that the minutes for the January 22nd meeting be approved as written. Are there further comments? Further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote. All those in favor of approving the draft minutes for January 22nd, 2025 as written, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. With that, we'll move into new business. And the first item under new business is a discussion about the initial point gallery and overview from Arts Commissioner Lizzie Taylor. Please step forward and introduce yourself. And
okay, is that better? That's better. All right. First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to spend a few minutes with you. I have given presentations about Initial Point Gallery to all of the other commissions and have been, if I might say so myself, extremely well received. Are you familiar with Initial Point Gallery? I know that Scott Walters is. If you're not, I suggest that you make yourselves familiar with it because it is a beautiful gallery. It was designed to be a gallery. It wasn't just leftover offices that somebody said years and years ago, let's just put up some art. It's designed as a gallery. It's quiet, it's serene, it's beautifully lit, it's carpeted, and the restrooms are always very clean. Okay. I'm on the Meridian Arts Commission, which I've been on for about 5 years. There are 3 segments to the Meridian Arts Commission. The first is events and outreach, which puts on things like concerts on Broadway, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, and Meridian Art Week. Another division of the commission is public art. That commission has to do with the solicitation for an installation of art in public places. So when you see sculptures in parks, that was because of the Public Arts Commission. Now, none of the divisions of the commission work independently. We are not renegades. We work very closely with the city, just like every other commission does, and we are all obviously volunteers. The third division of the Meridian Arts Commission is the one that is closest to my heart because I am an artist, and that is the Initial Point Gallery, which is upstairs on the third floor. Gorgeous space. How does art get on the wall, you ask? This is not a casual process. People don't come in and say, oh, I think I'd like to put the painting of my cat up here. It is a streamlined but fairly complicated process. A call to artists goes out in about a couple of weeks, like March every year. And in the time that I've been on the commission, the number of submittals to the number of people who have indicated interest in showing at Initial Point Gallery has increased geometrically, as well as has the quality. So the call to artists goes out. The art has to meet certain very specific standards. It cannot be political. It cannot be, what other can it be? It can't be political. It can't be religious. It can't be erotic, and it can't denote violence of any sort. It's been very rare that we've had to turn down art when it has been delivered, but if somebody chooses not to look at our standards and obey them, then we cannot hang the art. And people have said, well, gee, if they can't be this, 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 and this, what can they be? There's plenty of room for really good art that still meets the standards for a functioning municipal building. Okay, so the call to artists goes out to whoever it goes out to. I have nothing to do with that because I know absolutely nothing about computers. And it comes back, and all of the submittals go to my subcommittee, which is the Initial Point Gallery subcommittee. There are four of us on it, and all of us are artists in different capacities and with different skill sets. We then take a look at the slides that are sent by artists, and we either say, yeah, they'd be good, or no, they wouldn't. It does not matter particularly if I like a piece of art. What does matter is, does that piece of art meet the community standards, and would it look nice hanging in Initial Point Gallery? Okay, but liking it, you kind of got to like it, but you kind of don't have to love it. Okay, because there have been some pieces up there that have met all the criteria that I just think, oh, no, no, no. But we serve the entire community, not just a teeny little segment. This is not the Lower East Side of New York. This is Meridian, Idaho. Okay, so the subcommittee gets all these submittals. We take a look at them and we rank them numerically. Okay, then all of that goes to the entire Arts Commission, which has 9 people on it, and we go through the same process. The entire Arts Commission relies on our initial ranking, and then we do another numeric ranking. Okay, then that comes back to the subcommittee, and we put the shows together. Okay, there are 3 groups that typically show at Initial Point Gallery every year. The first one is Treasure Valley Artists Alliance, TVAA. It has about 200 members, and they typically have a color-themed show. Their show there a couple of months ago was called Midnight Metaphor. All of the pieces were either blue or contained blue. All right. Another group that typically exhibits is Bosco, which is Boise Open Studios Collective. They typically have a themed show, but it is not a color theme. It's flowers or rodeos or elephants or whatever they want to do, but it's a themed show. All right. And we rely on those groups to communicate with their members the stipulations and the qualifications that are needed. So we don't get crazy political stuff from anybody or religious stuff from anybody, because the groups that exhibit are very, very sophisticated people, and they want exposure, and they get it. Okay, then when we have selected the artists and selected the dates for the shows, then Cassandra gets all of the artists under contract, which is kind of like herding cats. It is, it's not the easiest thing because it has to go through the city of Meridian because like you are all volunteers, we're volunteers. So I cannot contact an artist and say, "Ah, guess what, you're going to hang your art in initial point at blah, blah, blah." We have to be very, very careful. We abide by the rules. So that is kind of what we do, how we do it. We have 10 shows, or pardon me, 9 different shows a year. The third group that I forgot to mention, I should not have forgotten it, is West Ada School District. That show is always in the month of May. And I will say that the quality of art that comes out of West Ada School District is absolutely phenomenal. I give a lot of credit to the art teachers and the dedication that they show to educating West Ada school students in the importance of art in the community. Do you have any questions, or did I cover? Oh, can an artist sell art at Initial Point Gallery? Yes, I have sold a number of pieces there. I have not exhibited for a while, but I've been very lucky. Anybody who wants to purchase a piece of art at Initial Point works through the artist, because Initial Point Gallery and the city of Meridian are not in the art sale business or in the business of collecting sales tax. So yes, artists can sell, and we provide on the pillars on the either side, the right and the left, names of pieces with the artist bios, stuff like that. It's all very, very nicely done. Prices, or if something is not for sale, if somebody sells something, we put the coveted red dot on it so that other people know that the piece is sold. So do you have any questions? Comments? Observations? Thank you again for your time. If something comes up that you need to get a hold of me, if you would kindly go through your chairman, that would be the best way, because I can't take, if you have a question next Tuesday about can my son hang his art, don't email me. It has to go through the city. So thank you very, very much for your time, for your attention, for your smiles, and go enjoy some art. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, too. I'll just go ahead and quickly say that we've enjoyed our relationship with the Arts Commission. We went ahead and contributed to the sculpture on the south side of the main thoroughfare here, the one that's south of here by a couple of blocks with the big metal structure there. We definitely enjoyed our participation in the Arts Week, I think the time before last. But our great coordinator on that has had to resign, and I'm not sure we're going to get our act together this year, but we definitely enjoy working with you. So thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is a report on the Ada County Solid Waste Advisory Committee meeting. Just quickly, first off, they also do elections every year. And I was reelected as the chair for the Ada County Solid Waste Advisory Committee. Just as a report, the Ada County landfill is nearing completion on their cost of services study and their natural gas project, where they're going to go ahead and start injecting it into Intermountain Gas's pipeline. Those two projects hopefully will be done within about a quarter, next 3 months. Other projects that hopefully will be completed throughout this year include expanding their leachate management system up there, completing the installation of a few more groundwater monitoring wells, instituting pancake compaction, and developing some additional destination for tires, which are used tires that are brought up there. They're a little worried about their current clients being able to take all the tires that they receive, and so they're trying to develop some new markets up there. And then there's some ongoing projects up there. One of them is they're occasionally getting some out-of-county waste. Uh, They have the household hazardous waste quarterly meetings, which we'll go into a little bit more detail in a little bit. And they're building the landfill learning center up there. Uh, Let's see, I should also add, they're going to make some adjustments to the scales up there to go ahead and enhance their capability and optimize that, the scale operations. And they're switching over to start stage 7 up there, which will go ahead and allow them to have some more airspace to receive waste. And hopefully, if that all works out, we'll start pushing back on the projected date that the landfill becomes full. Right now, it's somewhere around 2065, but they're hoping through a number of, about 3 initiatives that they've got up there, maybe more, that they can push that back by 10, 20, maybe 25 years. So there's a lot of good things going on up there at the landfill. And just want to give the opportunity with the commissioners, if there's any of these projects you'd like a little bit more details on, maybe we can get a presentation on them. So anyone have any questions on the county's activities?
Mr. Chair, I think a presentation would be helpful, or could we entertain a on-site tour again? It's been quite a few years since we've done anything like that. Or is that complicated?
I think both of those are very possible. I know the landfill's always inviting people to come up for tours, just kind of holding off until it's not cold and wet, which could happen tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't like cold or wet or hot. So spring or fall would be good.
Very good.
I would like to second that request.
Very good. We'll make it happen. And so I think the preference is a tour up there, and then if they have a preference and they want to make some presentations or whatever, we'll work with them. But I think you're right. Opportunity to see the various aspects of waste management here in the county is very good. Additional comments or questions on county operations? Very good. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is the household hazardous waste report from the quarterly meeting. I'll initiate, and we'll start off with Commissioner Nelson, and then he may hand off.
I may, for sure. First of all, just to catch everyone up, so that we have the regional quarterly household hazardous waste meeting. And as a commission, we haven't really participated for a year or two. We just defer to staff to represent City of Meridian and report the details or the things that are prudent. But this is the first time in a while that as a commission, we sat through and just listened to some of the discussions that they deal with. And I thought I'd mention that the folks that are part of that meeting hosted by Clean Earth are Ada County Landfill, Canyon County Solid Waste, City of Boise, City of Meridian, Republic Services, J&M Sanitation out of CUNA, in the City of Eagle. They don't always have someone from every organization every time. And so it was good for us to kind of hear all the things that they're working on. And to that, just kind of some quick updates. Outside of the normal procedural activities and database updates and lots of numbers, There were some discussions about how walk-ups are addressed. That's always been a safety issue, and some conversations on whether folks can have household hazardous waste, walk up if they're in the neighborhood, and those sorts of things. And they're making accommodations to allow that where it makes sense in some locations. There's a lot of discussion also around different organizations like Eagle and Star, non-citizens using Meridian or Boise sites, those sorts of things were discussed, just how and when it's time to try to limit any of that, or whether it's worth that, because we do want, the message was, we really do want hazardous waste out of people's homes, or potentially thrown away where it shouldn't be. There were some discussions about fee sharing to prepare for future costs. Some of the other more specific things were there's discussions about damaged batteries at mobile sites. Can't be taking them there, but you can take them to the county landfill. There's also, Sarah might have to correct me on a few things here, but there's some discussion about solar panels. They can take solar panels, but there was like they couldn't be broken, or there were some criteria on whether they could take those. I'm not sure. What else am I missing? Anyone help me out? Rochelle, you were there. I think that was, I appreciate that there's a lot of people in the room there and really want to do the right thing to get hazardous waste taken care of. And I also noted just personally, you know, there was discussion about what people do when you live in Boise and work in Meridian or vice versa, and whether you should be limited to any particular side. And I think right now that there's not a desire to deal with that unless it becomes an issue. And also reminder that this is for residential household hazardous waste. That's in the name, I guess, and not for commercial use and those sorts of things. That's my.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Nelson, one thing we didn't ask, which I think we should ask next time at our next meeting, is what's the success of the reuse facility up there? Like they have all these collection events, mobile collection events, and they kind of tease out everything that has value or might be able to be reused. And I don't know what percentage by weight is actually sent through the county's reuse store up there. Do you know? I mean, we just haven't really ever talked about it, but it might be worth asking the question. I don't know if they weigh things on the shelves or what, but I know that there's a lot of material that never has to be recycled or destroyed because it's rehomed with someone looking for it. So.
Yeah, that would be a good bullet point. And another thing I wanted to mention was the next meeting is April 24th. I'm not sure if they have a location for sure, unless Republic Services is going to host again.
Yeah, we've hosted the last few, but I don't know if they're thinking of moving it up to the landfill. I don't know, but we've hosted the last several at our office.
Thank you.
Members of the commission, are there any questions or comments on what was presented? Very good. Then we'll move on to the next item, which is the Recycle a Bicycle event, which is going to happen on May 10th. And Commissioner Nelson, do you want to go ahead and make some requests?
Well, first of all, we've had one sunny day and we're already talking about getting together to repair bikes. But yeah, it's going to come fast. So we need to start getting some dates to first evaluate where we're at, take a look at our supplies and those sorts of things, and potentially spend some money on some consumables. But we'd also probably reach out, and for those new to the commission, Bikes are dropped off at the Meridian transfer station. And we kind of sort through those, part out. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 bikes to make one good one, and kind of triage what needs to go into recycling, metal recycling, those sorts of things. And then get them to, our first big push of the spring is going to be Meridian Unplugged. And so we will set up a website. We'll get some, people can register, and we get general sizes and genders and types of bikes to get prepared for. So that'll start coming up here in the next few weeks. Might reach out and ask for some help if you're interested in working on the bikes, or set aside some time for the event to come out and help us represent the Solid Waste Commission and help deliver these bikes. And we also, during that event, we need help just repairing tires and organizing the area and hauling bikes back and forth, those sorts of things. So be prepared for us to reach out and ask for some help. And anyone that's interested can reach out to me, and we'll get you on the list. Or actually, Sayard or Rochelle are probably easier to get to. And let us know when you're ready. Or we'll let you know when we get ready, I guess. I haven't been out there for a while, Rochelle. How does our stockpile look?
We are stocked up. So we not only filled Meridian Transfer Station, we overflowed, and we have a full bay at VRT in Canyon County right now, bikes waiting to be repaired. So we have a lot of bikes.
Do we have any groups? So other than the event in May, we also have opportunities to share those to people that need them sooner.
Sure. Yes.
Right.
So currently we're giving about 10 bikes a month to the Ada County Sheriff's Office for people getting out of incarceration. So we have been able to keep up with those needs. And so we've been actually dropping bikes off. So the transitional living house is across the street on Barrister from the jail. So there's, and a lot of the folks can't come get bikes because they have an ankle bracelet on, and then they're restricted to a certain area where they can ride their bike for work. But once they're done with that transitional program, they can take their bike with them. So we measure success by return bikes. So return bikes generally mean the person went back into, they're incarcerated again, and we've had only one returned bike in the last 6 months. So people are coming out, they're getting the bikes, they're keeping the bikes. They can keep them there and ride it, ride them to work once they're out. So it's been a really successful program. And I know the Ada County Sheriff's Office really appreciates it. So, and also the rescue mission. So we do some homeless work, and then Farmway Village. So we do some migrant worker work. So we've delivered bikes just recently out to Farmway Village too. So a lot of little kid bikes, and then just a few adult men's bikes. So throughout the winter, bikes that were kind of ready to dole out, they've been doled out. And then we had kind of a surplus from the men's prison program, where Boise Bicycle Project teaches men interested in being technicians at the men's prison how to be technicians. And so they work on the bikes and bring them back to the transfer station. And those have been the bikes through the winter that we've been taking to the sheriff's office and to the homeless shelter and to Farmway Village. So we've continued working through the winter.
Thank you. And I'd like to point out that Republic Service hosts a location for us, and not just pick up the bikes at the transfer station. We have a place to store tools and keep things out of the weather. And sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate with us, but we still need to work out there. So that's been super helpful. But there's a lot of other volunteers, not just the commission, that work kind of year round actually to meet some of those needs. So this is our season to kind of ramp up for spring, and probably mid-March we'll start, maybe schedule some time to get out there and help. And we have to watch the weather. Seems like if we put a date on the calendar, it's guaranteed to rain.
And also, people can volunteer without bike skills. Like I just help strip bikes. So I'm a parts runner. And so anyone thinking online about being a volunteer, you don't have to be a bike tech to come help us get bikes ready.
No, you have to be like Rochelle in quality control. She catches any mistakes. Make sure, I think the word she uses is janky. She doesn't like any janky bikes going out to folks. But more to come.
Members of the commission, any questions or comments in regards to Recycle a Bicycle?
Mr. Chair, just, I'm curious, Sarah, when's the website going to go live or when will you advertise for bikes so we can start taking orders and getting bikes ready? Do you know yet?
The website's live now, and actually it's all up to date, but we don't have actually it's on the website, because remember we talked about it to figure out when it would work best, because we're changing it this year, kind of the setup to make it easier for you guys. So, no, they can't order now. The registration may be like a month. I can't remember exactly, but if you look on the website, it's all completely up to date. We got everything. Yeah.
And that's hosted by the Public Works website, City Meridian.
It's on the City of Meridian website.
And how do people get to that? Is it, I mean, how many clicks?
If you can Google City of Meridian Recycle a Bicycle event, it's all the same as last year. Nothing's changed. Yeah. It's just been updated, ready to go.
All right, I'll go take a look at it.
Yeah. Whatever was last year. It's the same thing. And then we'll start outreach. That's already been done and developed based on the emails I sent you to, because our outreach specialist, she's gone. So we got everything pre-done before she left. So everything is up and ready to go. And even the, what's it called? The application is ready too.
All right, thank you. So I think we didn't set a date. So if we look at March 10th to have bikes ready, it seems like 3 or 4 weeks prior to that, is that enough? Yeah, probably a month prior is when we'd start advertising that. Feels like if we go too early, people may register but forget about us. And just for, some history, there's been times when we've had put together 40 bikes and nobody came to pick them up, or very few. So we've kind of learned our lesson on how many to dedicate. Or in last year or two, we've actually gave them in advance of the event and left some took bikes that were kind of open-ended or available for folks who didn't know about the program until they got there. So we've kind of found a way to get more bikes out and not move them so many times. I think we got it figured out.
The sweet spot.
The sweet spot. I think we're getting there. I think that's all I have.
Members of the commission, any additional comments? I think we'll move on to the next item, which is for Public Works Week, which is about a week and a half after that on May 22nd. The point of that event is one where we have a table amongst tables from a lot of other service providers for the city, including water supply, wastewater treatment, many other things, fire department, police department. It's a great opportunity for us to go ahead and interact with the public and go ahead and answer their questions, give us a chance to find out what issues and concerns the public has at that time. And what I'm looking for is, in the past, we've had one of our commissioners be the point person on that table and be able to interface with Public Works directly. That commissioner has left the commission. And so the position is open. If there's somebody who wants to be the point person for that event, and I'm looking for any volunteers. I don't know if anyone wants to raise their hand right now, or if they want to contact me directly afterwards, after they had a chance to think about it. But I would certainly appreciate someone that could kind of help on some of these activities.
I'd like to participate, and I'll get in touch with you afterwards.
Mr. Chairman, I was just going to say, you forgot to mention it's a fun event.
Thank you, Bethany.
You're welcome.
And with that, we go ahead, we've completed our new business, and we'll move on to stakeholder updates. I've been asked to go ahead and kind of talk about how the city goes ahead and communicates activities that are going on, particularly the newsletter process that they've got. And there's a once every 2-week newsletter that the city pumps out, and you can sign up for it. There's kind of the details going to the City of Meridian's website, meridiancity.org. There's a link down about 2/3 of the way down the page for Stay Informed. When you click on that, there's one of the links on there that is subscribe. And when you get into that, you can go ahead and identify that you want to start receiving the newsletter, and you give them your email address. And it's definitely been a good communication path to me. But obviously there's many ways people like to receive their information, and along the side of that page, there are links to the Facebook page, the Twitter page, the Instagram page, the YouTube channel, and the LinkedIn information. So you can click on any of those links if those are your preferred ways of receiving information. And now granted, this came in by email, but I'm sure it's going to be in the newsletter soon, which was the segue on this. Republic has some exciting news. This weekend, they're going to go ahead and start their retooling of the recycle facility. And for a short time, there won't be operations there, but they have made arrangements to receive material through that 2-week period and hold on to it. And then once the facility is retooled, it'll be able to catch up and take care of all the collected materials. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Republic, because I imagine you want to go ahead and brag a little bit.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Yes, we're super excited. So the time is finally here. So it's a $6 to $7 million investment, and we will be getting, we will be shutting down March 1st. We'll still have a baler, like one of the balers operational. And so as trucks come in, and those trucks will still come in and we'll bale the material, but we'll be storing it on site at the Boise facility. And if that site fills up, we'll overflow to the Nampa recycling facility. And if that site fills up with mixed bales, we'll overflow to the Fruitland facility. And, assuming everything's going to stay on track, we're hoping everything will be done by the 16th. And on March 17th, we'll open and we'll continue operations normally. And material at that point will go across the sort line and be sorted. We'll have a new cardboard screen. We'll have a new plastic max to separate the plastics into 1s, 2s, and 5s. We'll have new loaders, new forklifts, new skidsters, and new compressors. We'll have a new baler coming in. It's just a lot of really new equipment to increase the volume captured for recycling and also the quality of material. So that will all fall back into place on March 17th. And then the site will run essentially a swing shift. So we'll have a full-time shift running normally, and then a swing shift will be breaking open all those mixed bales that are stored and getting those sorted across the line in the evenings. So hopefully, ideally by the end of March, we'll be caught back up and everyone's monthly reports will be accurate and all that material will be sorted and on its way to mills around the country. And it's a huge upgrade for the facility. And we're hoping everybody here will come out and tour it maybe sometime in April. So we can add it. It's inside a lot of it, so it's a little warmer than the landfill. So maybe we could do this tour first. But it's really exciting and really making this a state-of-the-art MRF. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I think I'll start off by saying there's going to be a lot of interest in that tour. So keep in communication with us on when you're ready, and I'm sure we'll want to go ahead and arrange to see your new equipment.
Great. That would be really great.
Members of the commission, any questions or comments on the information from Republic?
And we did get a question about security of all the sites. So all the bales that are being stored, they're all behind chain link fencing and the gate, they're lockable gates. So everything, no one's going to make off with recyclables or all the aluminum or anything like that. So everything will be secured until the site's reopened. But ideally, it should be invisible to the businesses and residents that use the site.
Additional comments?
Can't wait for the tour.
No.
I like tours apparently, but it sounds like you've done a huge change in there. I assume it's a much better environment for your staff to.
Oh, yeah.
throw at
I mean, starting with the lighting is much better. We upgraded the lighting. We added the fire suppression system. I mean, it's just cleaning it more regularly so it feels better to work in a cleaner environment. It's just all around. It's painted inside a lot of the spaces that the employees use. So it's really nice.
All right, great.
And true to our feral cat program, Gia's on the line. Her staff she's been overseeing the MRF as the ops manager, and we've done a fair number of kitten rescues out there. And so, just like the transfer station, we're carrying on our legacy of being good cat caregivers in the community. So.
Additional comments? Very good. Then we'll go on to Timber Creek. Tyler, did you want to go ahead and make any updates? Very good. With that, we now move on to the next meeting, which is March 26th. And as always, if you've got any comments or any kind of subjects that we need to pick up, go ahead and send them to myself or to Sarah. And when we get together and put together the agenda about in 2 weeks, we'll do our best to add all that type of stuff. Unless there's any other activities that I've overlooked that we need to take into account now. I think we're done, so I will go ahead and call the meeting adjourned. It is now 46 minutes after 4. Thank you much, and we'll see you next month.